Hey guys, welcome back to another Sims Journey video. Today we are going to be exploring this new build that I did, and I thought I would do it as a speed build. So if you're interested to see how I created this English-inspired community garden, secret garden vibes, definitely tune in. All right, so if you're not familiar with the Build a World challenge, take a look at simsjourney.com. Our character Thrall actually reached level 10 gardening, which means that he unlocked our community garden lot. So that means that we created this beautiful English gardens inspired community garden for our different Sims to be able to hang out in. It features this beautiful archway that I was really inspired by from the new Bridgerton pack. It also features this gorgeous gazebo also from the Bridgerton pack. I really stuck with these white palettes. I thought that that was really invoking and allowed the community garden aspect to really shine through. It features two different seating areas. This also from the garden tea set. From the Wonderland party set, we have this chess little seating area because I feel like that's important to have in a community garden. And then our central viewpoint being the fountain in the center. And of course, we had to have an outhouse to serve all of our Sims needs. So if you're interested to see my sort of commentary and how I built this garden, definitely keep watching. Okay, so I started with just this little archway, and then I realized I could actually expand it and it's still playable. And I think it looks better widened like this instead of tall and skinny with this specific sort of style that I was going for. Typically, when I do community gardens, I go for that very almost like eco lifestyle aspect of like ruggedness, but I was really inspired by the new Bridgerton pack and haven't really used much of those build items yet. So I thought it would be a really great opportunity to use some of them. I started by placing down just some objects that I was inspired by, but I ended up getting rid of them completely. The most important part, of course, being the community garden lot, so that way it's actually usable. I wanted to make sure, even though it's pretty, that it's also very functional for our Sims. So that way they can come to this community garden and actually access things. I went ahead and popped the gazebo up on a platform so that way it really has a nice focal point. Your eye goes from the arch to the fountain to the gazebo, and I think it's a really nice flow. I played with the layout a couple different times, and I ended up sort of sticking with the community garden plots to the left side, although I did end up reducing the numbers so I could fit that really beautiful patio set. I shifted the fountain just a little bit to the left just so that the eye could travel a little bit more and it wouldn't look so grid-like, because at this point I wanted it to feel like a secret garden. I didn't want it to feel like this really gritty layout that I feel like gardens tend to have. I wanted it to feel like an English country style garden. So we used a lot of, I'm sorry, I'm probably going to say this wrong, but delphiniums, hollyhocks, and lupine, as well as thistle, which are all sort of white based flowers. And of course the white based hydrangeas. But we'll get to that. I'm getting ahead of myself. I went ahead and put down the little chess tables and started playing with the patio sets. I moved the insects section up to the top right, and we ended up sort of consolidating that as well. And then of course I had to figure out how I wanted the tea set to kind of look. I wanted it to look like you could just walk in and have like a nice little afternoon tea with your Sims, and then do a little community gardening, maybe a little chess, just like a nice little afternoon. Obviously, white was the name of the game for this build. As you know, with my forever save file, I'm going with a lot of whites. So this was the like sort of theme of this build. So it does end up being pretty white by the end of it. But as I'm going through, I wanted to add some sort of signage to the front. I was going back and forth between stone pavers, or the stone pavers from the new Crowns and Royalty pack, or the stone pavers from the Cottage Living pack. And I ended up sticking with the Cottage Living style one with the almost like purple thyme growing in between the patio. And I went with a very, like I said, I wanted to break up the grid, so I went with a very windy pathways, which left these perfect little green spots to be garden beds. So I went through and added, of course, just that beautiful weeping cherry tree that I feel like is a staple in so many of these sort of garden builds that take place in Willow Creek. And then I also added just a mega crap ton of hydrangeas everywhere. I wanted it to just feel like wherever you were, even if you were right next to somebody, there was enough of a barrier of flowers and vegetation that it felt like a secret garden. These are the delphiniums. Not sure again if I'm saying that right. I went ahead and just popped those everywhere that I wanted sort of a medium height. And then those are bougainvillea that I just popped down, and some lavender. I also put in hollyhocks where I wanted a little bit more height. And then maybe lupine was the lowest one. Delphiniums are the medium one, and hollyhocks are the tallest one. So anywhere that I wanted like a real wall type situation, it was all about the hollyhocks. So I placed those in various locations, as well as thistle where I wanted the border to feel very like rounded out. And then the last piece was just putting in lighting. So I put lighting in and flowers, and yeah, we were done with the build. So again, if you like this video, make sure you subscribe, take a look at simsjourney.com, and thanks for watching. Hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.